Dan loves rookies. We're going to find out just how much he loves them for the 2025 class right now on FFT Express. Welcome, everybody. Adam Azer, Dan Schneier here. So there's Ashton Genty. He's in a class of his own. We're not going to call Ashton Genty a rookie breakout. He's going to be a first-round pick, maybe an early second-round pick. After that, though, who does Dan like as a rookie breakout? Now, you said a few months ago,
sure,
basically that we should hammer rookie wide receivers late in drafts.
Yes.
Still feel that way?
I do. I wouldn't necessarily consider those to be the breakout candidates. Those are more of the sleeper candidates. But yes, I would still feel that way.
And who are some of those late round rookie wide receivers you'd like to draft?
Well, the first one that comes to mind, just because he is going in the late rounds, though he shouldn't be based on his draft capital and what I consider to be good opportunity, Matthew Golden of the Green Bay Packers. First of all, Golden, player that I liked more on tape at Houston than after he transferred to Texas, but I think a lot of that has to do with the poor quarterback play from Quinn Ewers. I think he's somebody who can do things after the catch that weren't necessarily on display at Texas, but were on display on his Houston film, and we'll see that in the Matt LaFleur offense. There's opportunity for him to be an actual breakout in addition to just being a sleeper, but he's being drafted in our fantasy drafts really late. Just not a lot of buzz so far. I guess a lot of uncertainty with fantasy managers. Look, there's so many guys there. Dontavian Wicks, even as a fringe player there, as well as all Romeo Doubs, everyone in the mix there, even with Watson hurt. Even Tucker Kraft is being talked up. So I think Golden is the one that comes to mind first as that guy I'm targeting late in drafts.
Later guy. Okay. All right. So what about the topic of today's show, your favorite rookie breakouts for 2025?
I start with Omarion Hampton. Hampton is a guy whose tape I loved at UNC. Reminded me a lot of Jonathan Taylor with more ability after contact, which is saying a lot because Jonathan Taylor is a great after contact runner. Hampton has a surprising profile. Only 2 career drops at UNC on 80-plus targets. Was used on arrow routes, was used on the Texas angle routes, was used on swing routes, screen game. He is more of a receiving type than people realize. I think will be a weapon in that regard. Early with LAC, I think they'll understand that, Greg Roman, and they'll utilize that. But overall, I just love his talent, his ability to force missed tackles, break tackles, and be that thumping workhorse that currently they don't have on that roster. I don't consider that to be Najee Harris. I don't think he has enough juice personally to fill that role. So I like everything the Chargers do in the run game. They use a lot of bodies, the Greg Roman offense. They use a lot of 12 heavier personnel, and they find a way to kind of design and scheme up production in that run game. That was the case for Dobbins. That was the case for everyone in that backfield last year, including Gus Edwards. So Hampton is the guy I think could actually break out and just be a player that we look back on like, wow, I mean, he had the talent. Why didn't we see this potential role coming in this specific offense that has a really good quarterback and a really good run design? He's the first one that comes to mind. I have others, though.
Would you rather have Hampton or Connor?
Hampton for the upside, though I love Connor.
Okay, who are the others?
I mean, first comes to mind is Travis Hunter. When you watch the tape of this receiver class, Travis Hunter was the best on tape by far. I said that 4 months ago on this show, and I'll say it again. His ability to get in and out of his breaks, his ability to release off the line of scrimmage was the best in class by far, which will help him create separation on third downs, help him create separation in the red zone. I think he'll get a lot of one-on-ones early in his career with the Jags because Brian Thomas has kind of earned the right to have coverage shaded his way based on his rookie season. And that's just going to lead to really good opportunities for Hunter in the pass game. So I think there's an opportunity for him to be amazing right away in fantasy football and an actual breakout player like Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors were last year.
I'm really excited for Travis Hunter. Let's see. Let me take a quick look at his ADP right now.
It's not that high yet.
On Fantasy Pros, it is 51st. Yeah. Yeah, and on CBS ADP, it is 53rd.
And that's kind of right after the range, I think, of where we were taking Neighbors last year, though Neighbors kind of did see a big ADP bump as we got closer.
Yeah, I think Hunter will too, honestly. Okay. But I'm less convinced on that than Neighbors. Like, I knew Neighbors was going to have an ADP bump. He was way too low. All right, let's take a quick break here and talk about some more rookies when we come back on Fantasy Football Today Express. So you mentioned Hampton, you mentioned Hunter. Now we've got Trayvon Henderson. We've got RJ Harvey, Quinshon Judkins, Caleb Johnson. Do you see breakout seasons for any of them?
Yes, I see the possibility for a breakout season for RJ Harvey. RJ Harvey was my favorite prospect before the draft and love the idea of him joining a Sean Payton offense. I think Jacob Gibbs has some really good research on this. But first of all, RJ Harvey was number 2 behind Ashton Genty in just about every key metric. 20-plus runs, explosive runs, yards after contact per attempt, or forced missed tackles per attempt. Just an absolute beast running back. Now, with that said, he also joins an offense last year, Sean Payton, that had crazy opportunity, just wasn't able to be realized from a player like Javonte Williams, who was still, I guess, kind of struggling coming off the injuries, but still was on an expected fantasy points pace, Adam, of top 10 at the running back position. Just expected. Now, can Harvey be the guy to realize that? Yes. Is J.K. Dobbins in the mix? Yes. But for breakout cases, one injury to Dobbins, which he's been injured a lot in his career, and RJ Harvey is all of a sudden the number one breakout candidate behind Ashton Genty at the position.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he was my second favorite rookie running back. I think I liked him better than Hampton. I can't remember now. But then, yeah, I
meant value-wise, just to be clear. I did not like him over Hampton as a prospect or even close.
No, not as a prospect, as a fantasy asset when he went to Denver compared to Hampton on the Chargers. I mean, I thought he's got no competition, really. He's going to catch a ton of balls because Sean Payton always throws a lot of running back targets in that offense. Then they bring in Dobbins. There's no way I can justify Harvey as the number 2 rookie running back in fantasy drafts. I think he's got to be number 4 at the earliest here. I'm going to put Henderson and Hampton and obviously Genty ahead of him as well. I don't know that I'm getting any buzz in the fantasy community on Tetairoa McMillan. I have to see something. I have to get some reports. But I feel like people are a little skeptical of his breakout potential.
Yes.
And I would say that even though he's going how about this? Even though he's going earlier than Tyler Warren or Colston Loveland, I think Warren and Loveland have a better chance to be a league-winning player than McMillan. What do you think?
Probably fair. Warren has the case of Brock Bowers if they design the offense around him for easy layup throws for Daniel Jones. I just don't necessarily think I'll see that from Shane Steichen, given what I've seen from him in his career. I think we'll see some designs for Warren, but not enough for the breakout. Loveland, does he get the Amon-Ra St. Brown role? Maybe. It's been a slow start to camp. The next guy I would probably put up as far as breakouts goes would be Trayvon Henderson. And the reason I say that is because they need instant offense, New England. They need to figure out ways to generate offense. And one of those ways may be just getting Henderson the football in space in the passing game. Something we've seen Josh McDaniels use as a cheat code his entire career coaching as an offensive coordinator. It's throws to the running back, throws to the slot, but specifically throws to the backs, getting those matchups that he likes, isolating those. Henderson will win a lot of the matchups against linebackers in the NFL level. So he's the guy, at least from a PPR standpoint, that I could see as a sleeper breakout candidate.
Trayvon Henderson, yeah, I agree. Which tight end would you go for if you were taking a shot on a rookie breakout?
It's Loveland for me, but I want to see more of what's going on in camp and why it was a slow start for him in OTAs from an injury standpoint.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. He hasn't even played yet.
Yeah.
So we gotta keep an eye on that with Loveland. All right, that's Dan Schneier. I'm Adam Azer, and we will talk to you on Monday on Fantasy Football Today Express. Enjoy your weekend.